Gentlemen, I can't believe I'm saying this, but after 2 years of waiting, welcome to Aces of Thunder. I am freaking hype right now, okay? I've actually been playing for 2 hours, I'm not gonna lie. I've gone through a lot of controls set up. I've got my wingman over here, Patrick. You wanna say hi?
Guys?
Yeah, so he's been helping me out a lot. I finally got both VR hand controls to work. There's been a lot of flying where my controls for the HOTAS were inverted and all this stuff. It seems that right now I can only rebind the axes, so I can't rebind the buttons, and I can't invert the axes, so everything was backwards. It was a whole thing. But now we got both VR hand controls, and that's what we're going to be flying with right now. So, as you guys have seen, I covered a stream yesterday where they showed some of this stuff. They got the first Steam key over there at Upload VR. But right now, we've got our own, so we can explore whatever we want, wherever we want, and trust me, we're going to show quite a bit today. So, this is obviously all the U.S. aircraft, and we are going to get to that little word right there in a second. Germany, USSR, I did unlock a specific camo for this one, just by getting the first few kills. Great Britain, Japan, and then Central Powers. And then there's 2 aircraft for the Entente forces, which is the Sopwith Camel and the Spad, which we saw in the Great War event. So this is the Sopwith, and then we'll switch over, and that's the Spad right there. So only 1 camos for all of these, which I would actually prefer that, especially the German ones, get some different camouflages, just so you can really fit with that flying circus theme, which they had going there in World War I. That'd be really nice, but we don't have that quite yet. So I mentioned all of these. These are all the aircraft. Going back to this, so I can in fact choose the F4U. It's a separate pack, and when you click on it, notice this word, purchase. I go to purchase. This browser page does not exist quite yet. So the F4U-4 Corsair, which is going to be 5.3 in War Thunder Sim, which is the highest BR aircraft coming to the game at launch, is going to be locked behind a paywall. Think about that what you want. To me, it kind of seems like a self-admittance that they're hiding the best plane in the game behind a paywall. Also gives the Americans 5 lives when all these other nations are going to have 4. So I've hopped into some World War II stuff, mostly in the P-51C-10 and some test flights, and the Central Powers, Entente forces, all flying in World War I. I'm sure that's showing up on the screen right now. It was actually quite fun. A little janky because I had to have Patrick firing the guns while I was flying. It was weird. It was weird. But there are some things that I want to check out here. Of course, the whole menu system. Now that we're here, we can look at it all. So here's your daily tasks. Of course, this was the customization that I showed you just then. Some of these, which do have skins in War Thunder, also have skins in here. I can't put the Red 7 on the plane yet. I have to unlock that separately. Leaderboards, monthly leaderboards. So here are some people. I am down. I have 4 kills. Woo! 1 battle, 18 minutes. And then this over here is where your contacts would be. So it's like a friends list. Settings. These are, I've got it set up to custom right now. It just helps me fly on, because I was able to rebind these axes, so I can use the rudder separately. I don't like using the little nipple, small little, I don't like using the small little joysticks on the VR controls. But you can if you want, right-handed, and then there's these sim ones over here. So the difference between this and the sim ones is that these ones will auto-fly the plane when you let go of the VR controls, and the sim ones will not. But obviously right-handed, left-handed, that depends on who you are as a person. If you are right-handed or left-handed, you got the sound settings right here. The music is the same as it is in War Thunder. Of course, I've heard that a million times, so I got to turn down to the God's number, 7%. Interface right here. Measurement units that I want, so when I'm looking inside of an aircraft, it shows me all of these, no matter what nation that I'm flying, even if they only have kilometers an hour, it'll show me the speed in knots, account, privacy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now the way you click on things is that you kind of just mash your hand into them. I think they did say that, right? They said that we were going to be able to use the joysticks on the VR controls very soon to control the menu. That'll be very useful because right now I've just been mashing it, and trying to set up the controls was kind of a pain. But here we are right now. So, of course, we want to check out the F4U-4 Corsair and see if we can test flight it. Does it even let us? Yes, it does. So, of course, we're going to choose tracer belts, which we know is the best, HVARs, bombs, all of this stuff. We're just going to fly with machine guns right now, and let's see what it does. Is it going to spawn us on a carrier? That'd be interesting. No carrier. Hopefully the FPS is okay. Right now, for me, it's okay. So I do have to do the whole motion. Wow. All right. And then let go. Now we have a closed canopy. So here's your turn and bank and your slip indicator right there. Oil temps. So all the oil temperatures and the pressures and everything, all those gauges do actually work now. And they've introduced this cool thing with the knee pad, And you can see your ammo counter and fuel gauge down there. Although there's been no way to select a specific fuel amount that you bring or convergence. So as we can see, I think this is at 400 meters. 300 to 500 meters is where I can confidently say the convergence is. And there's no vertical targeting on, which personally I very much prefer vertical targeting. So that's kind of disappointing. Let us select those things. Very much pleased. But this game is in pre-beta. It's closed beta for us content creators. So not everything is going to go right. I'm sure that we're going to run into some issues here. We don't even have a release date for this game, much less like a price. So there being bugs and stuff is kind of to be expected at this point. So I am flying with the PSVR2 controllers, PSVR2 headset, but on a PC via Steam. So here we go. So controlling the stick, let's put the hand on the throttle. There we go. Now what I think really sucks about this one being locked behind a paywall specifically is that it kind of locks the whole experience of Pacific carrier battles also because you're not going to be able to take off with an American fighter without this specific pack plane. Alright, where's the gear control? God, this is kind of annoying. Gear up. Alright, let go. So here's the flaps, so specific settings. Right? Combat. Oh! It doesn't lock to one. You can actually set it to whatever one you want. In War Thunder, this is not linear, right? There is combat, there is takeoff, and there are landing flaps. And there's no real in-between. Let's pull back on that. Yep. So you do get vibrations when you're in WEP via haptics from the controller. I remember I gotta let go of that. Pull back. I don't specifically like the VR controls. I would much prefer to be using the HOTAS. But without the buttons and with everything being automatically inverted, it's kind of annoying. There we go. Yeah, so we're flying nice and level. I'm gonna pull back on her. Oh, I let go of the stick. So I should be in the sim one, so once I let go, it shouldn't auto fly, and it doesn't. But there's a lot less to fight because the aircraft does auto trim, and it doesn't seem that they have modeled the torque, or if they have modeled the torque, then the auto trim really takes care of all of those issues for you. The environments, they do look very good, especially this Pearl Harbor one. RIP the Pennsylvania, whichever one they just threw in the dock, completely destroyed. That kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, this is more modeled than the normal Pearl Harbor when you do the test flight. Like, this at least has some battleships. They're not all here, but some of them are. Pull back on that stick, and let's go intercept the P-63s. Oh, we're really going to merge with these things. As far as graphics go, I would say this is on the lower end in terms of what War Thunder is like, although the mirrors are okay. The shadows could be a little bit stronger. I mean, for most things, right? Like, not just for the aircraft, but for the trees and stuff, it could be a little bit better, and I think that's something that takes away from the general feeling of the game, especially in some of the winter environments I've seen. I really dislike VR controls. But, you know, it's what we're going to have to deal with right now, and that is what it is. I want to see if they have this specific thing modeled. If you don't know, this Corsair can use the gear as a dive brake. Don't believe me? It says it right there. Use landing brake, or again, use landing gear for dive brake. So gear is down right now, and it's not ripping. That's great to see. Let's bring that up. Nice. All right. Yeah, that is modeled. And as you can see, the engine temperatures and the mech controls, radiator controls are all being manually done with. There's no way for me to enter mech controls. They're not even in the controls setup menu, unfortunately. So while I am flying with the VR hand controls for the throttle and the stick, I do actually have my rudder pedals set up just for a little bit more fine fidelity. I find that flying with a rudder that doesn't have nonlinearity or multipliers and all that stuff is really, really annoying. So because I'm able to bind axes, that's the only one I'm actually using. All right, eat down. So of course the F4U is a pretty good shot, pretty stable gun platform, and a very, very good gun sight. But since we're here, we of course have to try a carrier landing. It seems like we're going to have double the runway because they're colliding. There's two carriers over here. So we're going to use that little dive brake trick, pull the gear all the way down, and they should be extending, as you can see from that little knob right there, and good on that side as well. Lock down. One of these is Lexington. I think it's that one with that big old stack, and then Enterprise should be up here on the front. We're going to try to go towards Lexington because I think it's a little bit longer, and it should be turning towards the direction that I need. Yeah, full gear extended, full flaps extended. We're going to punch the engine the second we get onto the deck. Perfect. Yep, this is exactly what we want, actually. Gonna hit it and pull back. Wow, that's a steep angle. Dude, I could not pull back quick enough. All right, well, I would say this is a successful carrier landing. We can walk away. Yeah, so the thing with the VR controls, I say as we merge with this other American carrier here, is that I kind of like pull into myself when I try to pull the stick back, which is a little annoying. All right, so I would say that behind the U.S. aircraft, which of course I have experience with, the German aircraft are the ones that I have the second most experience with. And I definitely have enough experience to tell you that that gear is not locked down all the way properly. You want proof? Look at the 109 G2. They have the same landing gear. The F4 and BF-110 are some of my favorites. Of course, these ones are very nice too. So we're going to take these into what would be considered an online match. And then I'm going to show off the mission editor to you guys, which is actually pretty neat. All right, 109 F4. All the people in this lobby should not be real. These are all the bots that are going to fill up the lobby. So let's see. We got to spend 3 minutes in the battle and destroy 5 aircraft. What's the best thing that we can do that with? Probably the 109 G2 with the gun pods. But screw it. Let's take a 2-person thing and see if we can change... Oh. Ooh. They're all locked. To unlock this weaponry, you need to destroy 50 ground or waterborne targets. So this is the first time we've seen this, where the bombs are not unlocked. We didn't see this in the American planes. Or maybe I only checked it out on the Corsair, which is a pack. So there is actually stuff that you need to get if you... So I can't bring the gun pods. All right, well,
The grind
is back, fellas.
Tree.
Wow, this is not as advertised. But, you know what? It's really not that bad. Look, destroy 5 ground targets. Destroy 30. Okay, that's kind of rough. Destroy 30 aircraft is a little pain. I mean, but these are really just ground strafing. That's really not too bad. Let's get in the air. 109 F-4. Hello, everybody. The blue line around them that shows that they're friendly only shows up when you were really looking directly at them. I actually very much enjoy that. Wow, that gun sight is super low. So these ones do actually have a gun indicator. Is it firing both at the same time? Oh no! Oh, it does work. Alright. The cannon one doesn't work. So I was kind of excited to fly this because it's the only one that has the ammo count indicator, but it's not really working well. Or we jammed the guns. I actually think we jammed the guns there. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We're gonna punch the throttle. Stick right here. Oh, I gotta let go of the brake. Yep. Luckily, our gear seems to be set right now. This one looks a lot better. There is a little bit of a tint going on with the reflections from the inside of the cockpit. Alright. Gear. Gear. Come on. Where's the gear? No. Gear. Shit. I'm gonna rip this off. Gear down. I know. Fuck. The gear... See, it's a punch. It's a button. I don't know how to hit the button. Oh my god, and we set flaps like crazy. What in the world? Are the flaps auto-flapping? Yeah, I got that. Thanks. It's very interesting that it pops up in the middle of the screen. It's so weird. It's not letting me control. Gear up. Is the gear up? I don't think it's coming up. We're gonna hit the ground. Nope, we're good. Barely. Yeah, we're good. I see the flaps, right? I gotta turn this fucking wheel, but it goes so slow. I don't even know if this is doing anything. Oh, there it is. Gosh, why is it so slow? That's the only really frustrating part about this. Is it is in fact going, but holy shit is it slow. Come off, please. We're going to drive to the battlefield. Perfect. I think we got one of them. Left one's off. Yep, right one's off. Perfect. So as we can see, the cockpit does look kind of nice. It's not as high detailed, especially the gun sight is not nearly as high detailed as it is in War Thunder. But, you know, it's passable, especially for people who are flying in PlayStation. And I really do think that that's where the main target audience is going to be with this game. It's going to be PlayStation users who have never flown in VR before. Not properly, at least. Ultra Wings and Ace Combat do not count as VR flight sims. So I think this is really the target audience for that game. As far as simmers go, like I said, with the auto trim, without being able to control prop pitch and all this stuff, this is going to be much more appealing to new VR users than it will be to actual proper sim players. But I do think that if a sim player wants to come in here and just get some easy kills, that'll probably be pretty possible. Oh, that's an LA5? Oh, we got the speed on him here too. Oh, this is weird. I gotta fly with the hands. Beauty. And Yak 9T. Oh my god, this is so weird to fly with these VR hand controls. I really don't like it. But it's just because I'm not used to it. And look, you can in fact black out. That was a question that we had, but you can do it. It seems to be pretty high tolerance considering my airspeed at that point. Whoa. Alright, a little bit of a wing stall. I would love to fly this with a HOTAS. I think I'd get a lot more control out of it. It'd also be kind of nice if the torque was modeled properly. I'm not having that phenomena that I do when I play War Thunder Sim, where sometimes the dots will actually be easier to spot. I'm not getting that with this game. The aircraft are actually more difficult to spot here than they are in War Thunder Sim in VR. I mean, it also doesn't help that I don't really have a button to zoom in at this point. Oh, Yak 9T is about to get up. Yeah, goodbye. See, that does feel nice, you know, even with just the 120. That does feel quite nice. Dude, what the f... That's so odd. I swear I'm keeping my hand, like, relatively stable, but I'm probably not. I'm just really not used to flying with the VR controls. Engine temps are okay. We got that one kill. Oh, what's in front? LA? Overshooting. Pulling back. Hopefully to loop around. A little bit of a rudder kick. Oh, somebody on their tail. It's a Yak 9T. Leading edge slats are out. Wonderful. My god, please roll. I should have died there. Yeah, there's two of these guys. It's just kind of annoying with the VR controls. I would love the touch and fidelity of my HOTAS, especially when I'm looking around. Like if I lean forward, my hand wants to go forward, which just means that I incur those negative G's, which is why that blood is rushing to my head, which is what you guys are seeing. I do like the blackout effect. It's actually better than it is in War Thunder Sim. That's a friend over there. That guy's overshooting with a lot of speed. I don't actually sense that the AI is super aggressive either, which honestly I kind of like, especially if this is going to be a mixed battle. Wait, what? That's an IL-2. How is that a friend? It does go over the top very nicely. Like, very nicely. Much nicer than they would in Sim. Unfortunately, I did lose where he was. I'm trying way too hard to keep my hand exactly where I want it. It's like seeing if we can just stay the easiest target possible for as long as possible. I'm trying to pull back on the stick. He had a nice shot there. We're going in. Oh, how do I bail? I don't think that button's... Oh, hey. Yeah, I don't think that button's binded. Maybe it's a cockpit thing. Open the canopy. Oh, there's no canopy control for this. Really? Really? There's no canopy control. Pat, there's no canopy control.
There's no canopy.
There's no canopy.
You can't even bail out. You're just condemned.
Interesting.
When was the last time you got killed by a bot?
That's actually a great question, and I can't even say that I remember when. But now I can say, yeah, modification, Mark 108, universal short. So even the belts you have to unlock. Yeah, air target. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's very interesting. I don't think people are going to like that very much. All right. Here we go. BF-110. Very beautiful aircraft. I like this thing a lot. We're going to reset this. So ammo counter. The German aircraft are going to have that advantage. They're the only ones with an ammo counter. In real life, the Americans and the British, they would run realistically with stealth belts, what we would consider to be stealth belts. That just means that no tracers within their belts. And then at the very end, they would put like a specific tracer pattern that they would recognize to be the signal to them that they are out of ammunition or very close to running out of ammunition. And that's how they would know that they were out of ammo, because they historically did not have ammo counters in the aircraft. Unfortunately, there's not a way for us to do that. The good news to new players is that it's a lot easier to take off in this than it is to take off in War Thunder Sim. That is pretty realistic. Those 30 mils and the 20 mils all firing at the same time. Very nice. Yeah, the buttons are not functioning well. But now the gear shouldn't be a problem. Is there any way to go into the back seat? There's no way to open this up either. Wow. Okay. So I know my flaps are out. I just can't really do anything about it at this point, unfortunately. That's not the flap indicator. That is the flap control right there. Oh God. Please let the other one rip. Please. Please rip off. Make my life so much. Yes! It's gonna auto adjust, not in time. Dang it. Hey, we're gonna fly off into the distance. No, we're gonna die. A horrific death. Not if we can land it a little softly. We got the downhill to help us. Hit the tail first. Sorry, back gunner. Avoid the trees. Go right rudder. Left rudder. Right rudder. We're gonna stop right before him. We're gonna stop right before him. Wishful thinking? Nope. Perfect. I like all the smoke for the 30s. That looks very nice. Woo! I don't see anything that would show that the performance of your aircraft is going to be hindered. Sort of, like you don't have to spade the performance of your plane, but you do have to spade the belts and the secondary weapons. When I say spade, I just mean unlock. So here's all the camos. Looks very nice. There. We'll look at the side. Yeah, so I mean, these are just all the War Thunder ones. If they're in War Thunder, this is the ones that are coming. This is the one I personally like to run very much for this aircraft. But the other thing that is coming are going to be these game modes. So if you want to know this information first, it's very basic. It's just kind of the tutorial. The test flight's right there, obviously, but also the game modes. So this is a custom mission, which will be online. That's in addition to the online battles, which we just went in, which normally probably won't be filled with bots, but will be filled with actual players, ideally, right? So these are all the single missions. As you can see, we'll go through all of them right now. Surgical Strike, Meek and Mild. If you want to read them all separately, feel free to do so. I think we're going to check out, not quite this one. We're going to check out one of them very soon. Spotters. Look at all the aircraft. Limited ammo. And limited fuel. Limited ammo and limited fuel are not the defaults, by the way. So second wave. Pelelu. Wonderful. Night Watch. Now, the other thing they have is this mission editor, which is super, super fascinating. So, as you can see, the map here is defaulted to Battle of the Bulge, and as I choose different aircraft, that should actually change. So, I go to this, now it's the attack on Pearl Harbor. You can see this one has 4 sectors, but some of them are quite big. So, like, let's go to this. We'll go to game mode. This might be Battle of the Bulge default too, but there's a bunch of other ones, right? So I could fly a Spitfire in the Battle of Midway, or I could go over here and be Japan, game modes, let's select that, and Battle of Midway, Battle of Saipan, Battle of Pelelu, Attack on Pearl Harbor, all of these things, and I could do it with the Americans. But the Russians and the British will have different ones. So like I go into this, and that'll be Korsun. Now it'll be Stalingrad, Winter, or Kursk, right? So all of these also have different sections. So if I want to attack a specific district, I can do all of that in here. It's very, very cool. If you play War Thunder, this is nothing new, but the fact that it's coming to this game, especially for those who don't necessarily want to play online, or for those who are afraid that the game may die in terms of like online matches all the time, this will be like a security blanket to really be able to fly a VR flight sim, especially on the PlayStation for those who can't do it elsewhere. They'll be able to always have this and to customize it to how they want. So this will be like behind enemy lines, head-to-head combat, cover ground targets, free flight, waypoint flight, vehicles, attack ground mission. And select the difficulties of the enemies, the ability of your teammates, the time of day, the weather, all this stuff, right? So let's just do something really quick. So Battle of Stalingrad, head-to-head combat, and I'll just click to battle, and let's just see what this does. In War Thunder itself, it plays a little cool animation. We're in a Yak 9T, gives you the little mouse pad on your knee. The only thing that didn't give you the this pad on your knee was the World War I stuff, which is a little interesting. There should be a lot of allies with me. Oh, there's a few. Jesus, I hit my hand with my other hand. So this is just going to be chaos over Stalingrad. Yak-9Ts versus what is presumably a whole load of Focke-Wulfs or BF-109s. Let's see how this goes. So I got a 37 mil and I think a 150 cal on this thing. And we're catching flak currently from some of the German lines near Stalingrad here. That's actually very well done. That looks super cool. We're going to form up with these guys just a little bit before we go into this whole fight. A few of them are breaking off to go low. We're going to go for these ones high, but they're engaging already. It's hard to get a sense of scale, a depth of field for how far away these guys are. Yeah, that's a 109. 2 up high. Whole load of people merging. They're going high. Yak's on him. 109 super high. We're not going to engage. One's on me, actually. I maybe shouldn't have chose veteran when I didn't have my my HOTUS set up, but we'll see how this goes. Aww. I think a 50 scored 1 hit. Unfortunately, as I try to look around, my hand just gets kind of thrown about, and I can't pull back on the stick very efficiently. Oh, this is bad. This is where this thing does not do well in normal sim controls, but because of this auto trim, it's kind of okay, except for that little snap at the very top. It's difficult to aim, but that's a skill issue currently, and because of the setups. Yeah, we did score 37 there. Maybe a second? Nope. A little ambitious. So it should only take 137, and it certainly did right there. Gain some airspeed, maybe chase this guy up. We got 2 on us. Might have to go defensive. Yeah, so the auto trim does not do well at low speed, obviously, because once you trim at low speed, it just means that you're putting in input without any airspeed. And without airspeed, your flight controls aren't going to do much. I promise you my aim is normally fine. Sorry if this is a little painful to watch. It's a little painful to fly. But it does look pretty cool, and I'd be very excited, especially when the HOTUS actually gets working with this. Yes, there we go. See, that's the lead I wanted. You just kind of got to focus. Focus on just one round. Oh, okay, that was really weird. It like went to black and then didn't go to black. Okay.
The realism is off the charts. You're just your dead body is just laying.
Yeah, no, we're just sitting right here, you know, just as it is in real life, where the whole screen just gets, our whole, you know, vision just gets black for a half second, even though you're flying straight. Oh, there's the end. Okay. Yep, we are in heaven. Whoa, it looks a lot like Aces of Thunder. All right, so we actually unlocked something for that. We're just going to check out one more thing in this video. If you guys have any other specific questions, of course, feel free to leave them down below. But I want to go into this single mission, and I want to find the specific one, and it is this. We are going to intercept and shoot down some Japanese bombers, of course taking off from carriers in our very much land-based P-63A5 King Cobra. Let's go limited fuel, limited ammo, as a no, as a default, just for sake of having some poor controls right now. Some very nice looking P-63s, and a very cool looking Iwo Jima. Yeah, it's really difficult to get a sense for how far away they are, especially without zooming in. But of course I don't have that button set yet, but I think we're going to merge with them in the next 10 seconds here. Yep, we're going to go for what I think is the lead. Yep, G4Y3s. Big old guys. They got the 20 mils on top, so if we attack them, we want to go from below. Ideally, we get around to the front. We actually missed so bad we hit one of his wingmen, so I don't know if that's considered a miss or not. You want to keep some energy with this aircraft. Keep some speed underneath you. Anything below 200 knots and you are making a big old mistake. Come on. We're going to catch a lot of shots here. Hit the 30. Alright. What the? I still hear the engine, and we're back on the carrier. What? 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 Is that the death animation? Is that me instantly getting shot in the forehead and dying? Is a slow fade to black. No sound effect, no nothing. Alright, this is a pre-beta, or I guess the just, you know, closed beta. They gotta work on that. That's a little rough. Oh. Oh, okay. No timer, no nothing. Just, hey, y'all are back. This is not how you attack bombers, guys. I'm just doing this for sake of testing. Yeah, he just brushed off the 37 there. Oh, we cut our tail. Yep, tail's gone. How do we bail? I don't have that button. It does look very cool. I want to show you guys just a quick video from the live stream that I saw from Upload VR, which would be coming very handy right now. It looks like when you bail out, God, this is disorienting. When going end over end is very unusual. So that when you bail out, you actually follow the eye of your own player. So like if you bail out at 20,000 feet, you follow that guy all the way down to the ground. And that they gave World War I guys parachutes just for this specific ability. So that'll be very cool, especially when they figure out this whole binding issue. I've been following for so long, I've actually had the time to describe all of that. So let's say adios. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. If you guys want to watch 24 Hours in the Great War, check this video out right here. I'll see you all in the next one. Lots of questions that I'm sure you guys have. Leave them below in the comments. I would be loving to...